that hard to talk to?
You know what? When I was like a girl dating dudes, I didn't get it. But when I had to be the person, because like I think one thing that women don't think about is like, you don't have to approach anybody. Just the idea of approaching someone is a lot, right? And women are mean. Women are mean. Women can be so mean. And especially, I think, to, I would say, masculine presenting people as a masculine presenting person. But like to men, women are mean. And like, I think y'all think it's totally okay to be mean because of what men have been to you in society.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like I was out with my ex and her friend. We were like in Martha's Vineyard. We're like hanging out at this bar. And this guy, like, he's clearly trying to talk to them. And he's trying. And he's not being rude, but he doesn't really got it. And he's like, hey, yeah, like, you know, y'all want a drink? She's like, no. And she turns around. He's like, oh, that's cool. Like, where y'all from? She turns to my girl and she's like, why does he keep talking to me? And I'm like, this is mean. And I'm like, dog, he's just like trying to find his way. He don't know. Mm-hmm. You could just be nice. He just think you're also competing with other men. You know that. You're aware of that, right? And it's like with women competition, it's not just like you look better than us. It's like, do you have your shit together? The ugly nigga could beat out a good looking if he has a shade more together and he could just present himself way better.
They actually usually do.
I mean, you can tell in his voice that this man really doesn't have any interest in doing any of those things. Maybe he likes women, but he's just like, just hearing all of that stuff, I don't have no interest in it.
You know what the funniest thing about so many men is nowadays? So many men are no longer scared of being single. They're now scared of being in a soul-sucking, detrimental relationship that's only going to waste their time, waste their energy, waste their effort, and waste their money. They would rather be single than be in a bad relationship. So it's not that men are complaining because they're single. Men are complaining because they've just seen everything as such a waste of time for them.
The society we're creating right now, more and more men don't want to get married. And I get why. There is almost zero upside for men getting married. This isn't me saying that men shouldn't get married, or women, but think about what society is telling men about what being a man is. Tell about society is hardcore for getting married. If you get married and you get divorced, a woman takes 50% of whatever you have. 80% of relationships, the man is the biggest provider. So that's a big fuck that. What are you getting in exchange for that? Second, if you have kids with her, because the government doesn't think that you deserve. So even good dads who try to stay in the kid's life are, so there's a lot of men going, why the fuck did I do this? The good news is that will correct itself. Because eventually then people start going, oh, right? When you create mistakes, you only create more error. Error creates more error. So we've gone so far the other direction that more and more men are going like, why the fuck did I get married?
Why men are saying no to marriage. First of all, let's talk about freedom. A lot of men today are realizing that marriage isn't the happily ever after that they were promised. Instead, they watch other married men who are stuck in unfulfilling routine. They're financially drained, they're constantly walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. Meanwhile, single men, they have their freedom, their money, and their peace of mind. Then there's the wonderful changing dating landscape. Modern dating has made commitment more risky than ever, with hookup culture, social media attention, and dating apps giving women endless options. A lot of men just feel like marriage overall is an outdated contract that doesn't benefit them in any meaningful way. Why would he want to commit to a woman that might be keeping her options still open or out there playing the game still? And then what? She cheats on him? There's really no penalty for cheating in your marriage. So he's supposed to just let that happen and then she leaves and takes half? I don't think so.
And neither do men. This is why 63% of them are saying, not interested in that. I'm a bounce.
And of course, I have a criticism because who would I be if I didn't have a criticism about dating? So the date started at 7 p.m. and the itinerary was drinks. And I set it in my mind that would be like 2 drinks. I would be leaving by 8:30. And as the date progressed on, the bar we were at was closing. It was at this point like 9 o'clock. And the guy suggested we go to another location. And at this point I was like, okay, I'm starving. And so we go to the other location, we sit down at the bar and they hand us cocktail menus. And the bartender says, will you be dining with us? And before there's even like a conversation about, oh, are you hungry? We've been together for quite a few hours already. Nothing. the date goes to the server, no, we're not eating. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm only having one drink then because I gotta get out of here because I'm gonna pass out of starvation. And I just thought that was really inconsiderate because you have to consider, like, okay, at this point, it's like almost 10 o'clock. We've been together since 7. Most people in New York are not eating dinner at 5 p.m. So it just lacked consideration for me, which I didn't really like. And so then, of course, I had to stop on the way home, which ended up being fun. But it was just like, Saturday night needs to include dinner.
Modern women are wondering why 63% of men are done dating. It's because y'all keep on having these weird expectations of men that, quite honestly, you don't even have of yourself.
So I just saw a video that pissed me off, and it was a guy saying that women should approach men. First off. Second off, we're basically enforcing men being women and women being men. Because even if you put your ego aside and approach a man, I don't even want the man anymore. Why would I want a man that's in the corner going, oh, well, if she approaches me, then that's good, and if not, whatever. Ew! I want a hunter. I want a guy that's like, I want that, and I'm gonna get that. And if you get rejected, who cares? Men that can handle rejection? Oof. Hot. Why are we selling this narrative?
If you want a hunter and a gatherer, then there has to be somebody that cooks. Do you cook?
Can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now. This is an actual problem that's coming up on the right. And to me, it's so sad because it's like...
Pause there for me. We're going to do this a bit here. Oh, man. So do you see the shock initially? She's shocked that this is a problem. She's like, this is an actual problem. Yeah, it's been a problem for a while. This is not new. This is not a new thing. And here's the bottom line. We'll say before we even start. First of all, it's I wouldn't call it sad. I think it's just reality. It just is, right? And conservative men typically don't want a working woman because they don't want to delegate childhood responsibilities to nanny, au pair, daycare. They don't want any of that. So we're going to set that precedent right up front. They're not interested in outsourcing the raising of their children to strangers. And essentially that's what it is. Oh, but the nanny becomes part of the family. Sure, it's still not mom. You want a traditional man? Then you got to be a traditional woman.
They meet somebody the organic way. Hee hee hi. Welcome, you came to the right place. Let me tell you how easy it is, girly pop. Step number 1, eye contact. You see the hot guy, you connect eyes with the hot guy. Step number 2, a little smile. And then step number 3, I'll take you there. Take your little legs and say, pay him a compliment. I like your shoes. I like your shirt. I like your eyes. At that point, your job is done. Your job is done. That's it. That's all you had to do. Was just go over and say, hi, I like your shoes. And then now his ego, he's like, dude, this girl's into me. And of course she's into me. I'm this and this and this. And then guess what? You got him. His testosterone's flowing. He's in feeling good. This is the part where girls mess it up, though. You got to come back to yourself and be like, this man worships me.
Do you ever think it's just, oh, thank you for the compliment, and then start a conversation versus, oh, now he worships me? Maybe he just liked the compliment and wanted to talk to you. Stop being so full of yourself.
63% of men under 30 are single, and more than half of them aren't even trying to date. Why do you think that is? What do you think the root cause of that is?
And I feel like a lot of younger men that are single, that aren't even trying, they don't want to dedicate the time. They want to build their business. They want to make it to the gym. They want to travel. They want to do it. And you know what? Finding a real relationship is work. It's not that they can't get dates. It's that they can't get the right ones.
37 years old. And in 2 weeks, I was getting ready to uproot my life and move across the Pacific Ocean to Hawaii with my boyfriend when we unexpectedly split up. Now, first of all, let me just say I am in good spirits. And part of the reason why I'm in good spirits is that ever since I was a little girl, no one has ever been able to tell me what to do or how to think. When society zigs, I zag. That is just always how I've been as a person. When people started to tell me, especially after my last breakup, settle down with anyone, give the guy that you don't like a chance, date somebody only for money, or change how you dress, change how you present yourself, change this about yourself. No, I like myself. And I come on these apps and I see so much fearful messaging about women dating into their 30s. And I'm going to be honest, like, I've had plenty of options, plenty of good options. My problem hasn't been, oh, all the men are trash. And I don't ascribe to that way of thinking either. My problem, and I don't want to upset anyone, is that I actually have had quite a lot of options and it's hard to pick. And as a woman, I think when you have many options, often you end up picking some of the more aggressive pursuers. And sometimes that is just maybe not it. Regarding my split, I just want to say this. I have seen this thing that so many women do, especially as they inch closer to 40. And I was talking about this with a friend the other day. She knows this woman who is in a relationship that she heavily suspects is abusive. And she said that this woman turned like 37 and was like, oh, I have to just find a guy. So she found a guy that was aggressively pursuing her. And this guy is a total nightmare. We have to stop being desperate. I live near Montecito and I was up there swiping on Raya. There was a man who was 21 who looked like a supermodel who wanted to match with me. That is not my speed. I like older, but you have that option is available to you if you want. The doomerism, the red pill matrix nonsense from people like Andrew Tate and the Whatever podcast. Now, I'm sorry, but as a man, if you listen to stuff like that, what you are telling me is that you don't have experience with women. Because I have never been able to be told what to do or listened to authority. Which, what is authority? Can anybody tell me? Because that has not been clear to me for a very long time. Because I don't listen to any authority other than my own inner authority and God, my relationship with God, who has authority over my life, and not in some weird way that other people ascribe to. I don't believe that God wants me to suffer, which is why I'm not suffering right now. I know that this situation that seemed perfect, there's something better. Like, I have a knowing. It's not a belief. Wayne Dwyer talks about the difference between knowing and belief. I have a knowing that something better is coming. There's no doubt. And I also just really enjoy my own company. I used to be very, very codependent. So because I like myself, I like my own company. Anyone coming into my life is just a bonus. They're getting to enjoy the life that I've already built for myself. So now I'm not going to Hawaii. I am taking the month off work and going to Costa Rica, starting in Costa Rica. I think I'm going to end in Miami. I don't believe in setbacks. I don't believe in settling.
She said something about picking somebody who basically pursues her aggressively. And a lot of times, because you guys think this way, effort, because the guy is putting in more effort, then that means that he actually really likes you. Oh, he's really obsessed with me. Like, this guy, if he's this obsessed now, it's only going to get better. It's only going to go more up and away. And then you get in the relationship with the wrong person because you're not doing your due diligence. You're not asking any questions. You just feel like, and this is why you get in trouble with men. Oh, because he was making the effort. He went through a lot of effort. Then that must mean he really likes me. When men continue to tell you that that's not what attraction is, that doesn't mean that he actually likes you and wants to settle down with you. So when y'all come on a date talking about, I did my hair, I did my nails, I did my makeup, I got this dress on, I went look at, what you're talking about is I put forth a lot of effort, and so I should be worth $500 at least. And a man is saying, I'm happy you did all of those things. You look stunning. What do you bring to the table?
That's why we are here. Are you doing it at the restaurant? I don't think that's why you're there. You're at a restaurant to have a meal, and I think you're going on a date to get to know someone. I mean, what kind of conversation do you have on a date if you really are only there to have schmegs? And like, is that talked about in advance? Like when you guys sit down at the table, will you pull out the chair for her and then, lean down and whisper to her, are we having schmegs tonight? And then if she says yes, you decide to pay. And then if she says no, you're like, okay, that's fine. You're paying for your own meal. How does that exactly work? And can you please explain to me why you're dating at all? I mean, are you thinking, well, hell, if I pay for her fajitas at Applebee's, that's going to run me about an extra $25. If I go and I pay for a schmegs worker, that's going to, we're going to have to add a zero onto the end of that. So you're thinking like that's a heck of a bargain, right? And my question is this. If she puts out after the fajitas, I hope she didn't eat beans. But that's her business and maybe your business, and I hope you have a lot of laundry detergent if she did. But anyway, where was I? So after she puts out on that first date, after you've fed her fajitas, no beans at all, do you call her? Do you go for a second date? Is the second date nicer? Maybe you go to like an upscale Mexican place where she can also get fajitas, but they also come with, a little bit of Spanish rice on the side. Still no beans. Absolutely no beans. At what point does she get a steakhouse? Is that if she gives you a really good BJ? I'm just wondering. Or do you like specifically look for vegetarian gals because maybe they're a little cheaper to feed, and of course it lets you have a little bit of a bargain on that BJ and all that. This is all very interesting to me, Billy. I look forward to your response.
Really, honestly, and truly never ceases to amaze me. At her age, some of the dumbest stuff can come out of her mouth.
Why men don't want to get married, the main reason is because the divorce laws in the United States are crazy.
I don't think that's why. I think they just don't want to get married because they just fuck around.
If you want to find a woman that doesn't work and you marry her and you have kids and then she wants a divorce because something might have happened in the relationship, do you not think that it would be fair if she doesn't have a job, that if you leave her, she's going to feel like, I'm like a single mom now, I don't have a job, I haven't built up my career or anything. Why wouldn't she get half? Isn't that kind of fair?
Perfect example of Destiny's
Isn't it-
wife giving
isn't
a
it literally
super niche
fair?
example for a blanket
It's
statement.
not niche at all. That's kind of why the law is
How
there.
many women don't have jobs now?
I have absolutely no idea, but it seems like guys like you want to find someone that is submissive, that can't really like
Exactly.
leave.
So
That's
then
like
you're
kind
gonna
of
have to
the
get
point.
divorced
Yeah.
and give her half your because you want her to be home
Listen,
and sit there like this
say
too.
that you would do that until you're like 40 and then you want a divorce. Like,
First
of course
all,
you would want to have the
okay,
half
stop
because she
talking-
hasn't built up her life.
Stop talking fast and over me to like seem like you're smart. I know this is a Destiny tactic. Relax.
Really?
Okay?
Also, this is my
So
second
I'm
language,
also gonna
okay?
say
I want
this.
you to do this in Japanese right now.
Relax.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
I would modify that a little bit and say there's a lot of modern women out there that don't know how to articulate. They don't know how to communicate effectively. They don't know what value they have to bring to the table. They haven't spent time learning and understanding themselves like they say they do. And so when a man asks them that question, well, that was rude of you, what they really mean is, well, you can't see my value? No, okay. What they really mean is, I hadn't really even thought about that. Not in the way of a man's terms. I'm expecting me, you see my clothes and you see my get up and my aesthetic. I would expect you to assume what I bring to the table. No. Besides your little aesthetic, what is it that you can do to complement the lifestyle that I see as, because you want me to have the vision, right? So I'm telling you, here's my vision. Here's what I'm thinking. How can you complement that? Oh, well, I could just look pretty. Pass.
Is quite literally lie to you in your face and gaslight you. Because tell me why this one guy reached out to me back in January. I totally forgot about him. I hooked up with him a couple years ago. Hasn't popped into my head. Forgot about you. Bye. Messages me one random day in January and he's like, hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you, this and the third, and I want to apologize for what I did. Basically ghosting me or whatever. And this and the third, and I was like, oh, like, who's this? And then he's like, oh, it's blah blah blah. And then he's like spew-gotting to me about his life and how like everything is like to shambles and this and the third. And I'm like, oh, you know, water on the bridge, because I don't care about what happened a couple years ago, because I was young and naive and I've grown up as an adult. And I'm like, oh, I wish you the best. I hope things work out for you. I'm sorry you're going through this. You know, I'm giving you the decency of being a good human being and telling you, wish you good luck in your endeavors. And we've been talking here and there. Mind you, it's a very, very mid conversation, very boring conversation. He's not giving me much to work with, and I'm not going to give him anything to work with, because why am I going to waste my time when you're the one reaching out to me? And yesterday we were talking, and I was out and about doing my thing. I was having a girl day, getting my coffee, getting a sweet treat, going to Barnes and Nobles, and I texted him. And I was like, oh, like, I'm in your area, because he still lived in the same area. And he was like, oh, you are? I was like, yeah, I'm actually across the street from you, because he literally lives across the street from the mall. And there's a Barnes & Nobles in there. And I was like, oh, I just got here, so on and so on. And he's like, oh, like, I want to see you and stuff. And I was like, oh, just come to Barnes & Nobles, because I'm already here. And then he hits me with the, no, I actually, like, no, not really. Okay. So that already, like, really pissed me off, because this isn't the first time he's asked to hang out. It's actually the third time. And the other two times he has, it's just so out of the blue and, like, very random. And he's like, oh, like, yeah, like, we can meet up somewhere and just hang out in, like, the car. I don't want to hang out in a car. I can hang out in my car, in my house, this and the third. So I've just been dubbing him completely. So when he was just like, no, I don't want to go to Barnes and Nobles. Okay. And then he says, oh, like, do you want to go to a park and hang out? No, actually, I don't want to go to a park and hang out. Why would I go to a park and hang out when I'm literally at Barnes and Nobles and there's a cafe here? What is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, like, oh, I really want to rest because I have to go to work later. And I had enough of him. I had enough of everything. So I was just like, you know what? Don't stress about it. Don't even stress about it. And he's like, oh, I am, because I want to see you. And I was like, stay home. Literally, stay home. Don't stress about it. Stay home. Have your little nap. I don't care. And as this happened, I'm obviously messaging my friends and stuff, and I'm telling them like this stuff. And I got really annoyed, because you're the one who keeps asking me to hang out. You're the one who's like, oh, like, I want to see you. You're the one that messages me. But yet you're not giving me anything to work with at all. You're really not. You're just saying all this for what? Like, I'm not going to give you the time of day, and I wouldn't be chasing you. So this isn't going to go anywhere. So I text him and I tell him, hey, listen, I'm just going to put some boundaries on the table. I'm actually really not interested in having a friends with benefits. So I really don't know what it is that you're looking for, if it's a relationship or just friendship. But I'm just letting you know that I'm not interested in like a relationship at all. And I'm not going to chase you, and we're both grown adults. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to chase you. I refuse to chase somebody that doesn't want me. And you keep messaging me. Let's get that straight. You're the one who messages me. I'm not messaging you like that. I wouldn't be settling for an idiot who isn't going to put any effort. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just not gonna talk to him anymore because I'm tired of it. I'm not putting any more energy into this. I'm not putting any more energy into this because it's really not worth it. And you're just missing out on a great person that I am, and I don't want you. And I just want to know why. I don't want to know why guys are like this. Because you know why? Because they're all divas. They want to be courted. They want to be this. Da 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 da. No, I refuse to do that. I'm not chasing you. I refuse to chase any guy. No, I'm the girl. I want to be chased. I want to be courted. I'm not gonna do the opposite.
It honestly sounds like both of you guys are kind of playing games and y'all are not taking each other seriously. So maybe both of you guys need to figure out what it is that you need to do to stop wasting each other's time.
I have a question for the men. Do you guys still want to get married? Like, is that still a thing?
No. A lot of men don't want to get married. And it's not because they don't like the thought of having a lifelong partner to be there for them when they need it. But a lot of men don't want to get married because they're avoiding potential divorce. In a lot of cases, divorce ruins a man's life. He has to completely start over. And in general, marriage doesn't benefit men a whole lot. So while a lot of men like the idea of having long-term relationships, it's just not worth it.
Never gonna get married. I don't want to get married.
Why?
There's no benefit for the man. He only has everything to lose. A man can be completely faithful to his wife, provide, protect, take care of the kids, obviously when he's not working, whatever. And the wife can step out and cheat. And what's the result of that? Man has to pay alimony, has to pay child support, loses his house, loses the cars, loses everything. Why? What's the point? And then, it's a coin flip. Flip a coin if your marriage is going to work. Those are the odds. Those are the chances. If you want to get married, cool. Throw a wedding, put the rings on each other, say your vows, you're married. You don't have to submit nothing with the courts. Yeah.
Die alone?
The only reason why somebody is not okay being alone is because they're not okay with themselves.
Exactly. I agree.
That's it. Like, if you're not okay being alone, you have issues with yourself that you need to take care of.
How old are you?
41.
Okay, you're 41 and
I'll
you're
be
single.
42.
All right. You're 41 or 42 in a week. You're single. You have no kids. Why is that?
I don't know if you could say I'm selfish.
You're selfish?
I like being free.
You like being free?
I like being free. I like going out.
Okay.
I like dancing. I like flirting. I can be with one woman, but
You'd rather not.
the responsibility, who wants that? Really, who wants that?
I don't.
I want to be free. I don't want no responsibility. I don't have to worry about somebody for the rest of my life. Even when I'm 90, I got to worry about my 70-year-old kid. 40 a difference. 50. It's just not for me. I think. When I see my friends with their kids, I'm supposed to want it, but I look at it like
It sucks.
it sucks.
It fucking sucks.
I mean, you can tell in his voice that this man really doesn't have any interest in doing any of those things. Maybe he likes women, but he's just hearing all of that stuff. I don't have no interest in it.
Do you believe in marriage in the 21st century?
Not really, because men doesn't want to get married these days.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Argentina.
Do you think this is mainly because of a cultural thing, or is it mainly in Argentina, or do you think all over?
The men I met in Argentina, they don't want to commit.
If they don't want to commit, what do you think they are after?
Be with a lot of women and have fun and until they are really old, then
they think about it.
They think about it, yeah.
For marriage, what are you dating for?
Well, do you think you can't have a lifelong girlfriend and have kids?
No, I think that's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because why would you stay with someone but not also just go ahead and marry them then if you plan on staying with them forever? What's the problem?
Well, I mean, this is the solipsism. So you're saying, why would a woman do that? I get for you, maybe you don't like the deal, but I think it's a better deal for me to not get married. So convince me that I should get married?
Because you want to date other people, like in your lifetime. You don't want to like just only be with one person.
Do I need to get married to stay with somebody for the rest of my life?
No.
Okay.
Are you worried about the like liability or repercussions?
Yes.
So you wouldn't.
I am concerned about the liabilities.
So you wouldn't love somebody enough to make that commitment?
I can just reverse this onto you. Why can't she love me enough to not get married?
I guess.
So your argument falls apart.
I didn't think I would be speechless by the words of 44-year-old unmarried man. He's a salesman. 2 days ago, I consulted with him about something, and then unexpectedly, the two of us talked about the topic of marriage. I asked him, I said, "You're getting to this age. Why aren't you married yet?" You know what he told me? He said that the older he gets, the less he wants to get married. Then I asked him why. He was silent for a while and then said something to me. I don't know if what he said was right or wrong. He said that the reason I don't want to get married is because I'm lazy. He said I don't want to carry those endless mortgage and car loan payments. I don't want to rack my brain to think about what kind of gift to buy for my wife, one holiday after another. He doesn't want to think about how to keep his wife happy when he comes home from work where he has worked hard to maintain the relationship with the colleagues and friends. He doesn't want to work hard on the one hand while worrying about his wife running off with someone else if he doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't want to come home from a day's work, tired as a dog and without a hot meal. He doesn't want to bear the brunt of the leader's anger outside and then come home to see his wife's attitude. He doesn't want to be filial to his parents, but also has to think about how to pass on the family name. He doesn't want to work hard to bring up children, but also has to try his best to buy a home for his children, to buy a car, and to save up for the wedding. He doesn't want to compare himself with other people after he has children, to see whose children wear the best clothes and are raised with the best things, and how many children are enrolled in the interest classes, tutoring classes, and so on. And even more so, he doesn't want to be sandwiched in the middle of his mother and wife to mediate between them. If one doesn't handle it well, one will suffer from both sides. Look, how comfortable it is to live alone. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I get sleepy, I sleep. When I wake up, I get together with my friends. If I'm unhappy, I stay in bed to play video games. I don't have a wife to watch over me. I don't have kids to chase after me. I spend more money when I have more money, and I spend less when I have less money.
Essentially, he didn't mean he was lazy. What he's basically saying is, I already know what society expects of me. I already know that my wife, my family, basically everyone around me is going to try to put this enormous amount of pressure on my shoulders, and I don't want to deal with that. Oh, please marry? No, you're not going to help me. I already know you're going to actually be working against me. And who wants to be in a relationship with that like that?
Getting married. It's 2025. You're just wasting your time. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with another human being and then have to pay 10 grand just to divorce them? And I'm not even talking about kids. So like, why go through that stress? Why go through that hassle? Because society said so. Society says it's your duty to have kids, only for you to traumatize your kids because your marriage is so awful. It's just way better being single and dating around. Why commit to one person for the rest of your life? There's always someone better. You're just wasting your time.
Given yet another reason to hate Hinge and all the dating apps. So I barely go as it is. I barely let like anyone match with me. But the other day, a Bosnian Muslim guy matched with me. It like said he was looking for his life partner. Obviously, we share that same background. I think he had a good job. He was tall. He was cute. I think this is perfect. I rarely ever meet men I find attractive, but then also like someone who like fits some of those like surface level things. So I was like, oh, this is so exciting. I matched with him, and then he ends up like, we end up texting, and we text like all day yesterday, like from like 8 a.m. to like maybe 2. We sent like voice memos. We talked about like what we do, certain interests, whatever. And he expressed that he wanted to go on a date with me. He expressed that he'd make time for it. He expressed that he hates how people are non-communicative and like people don't know what they want, all the things. And he expressed he was like looking for his wife, right? So I was like, oh, this is great. And there were like some things here and there that he said where I was like, you know, let me just like go on this date and see what he's really like. He doesn't respond after like my last text. It was like 2 p.m. and I'm like, did I like say something weird? Did I whatever? So I sent it to my friends. They're like, no, I think you were fine. Like you guys had a great banner. He sent me a Instagram friend request and I didn't accept it because I typically don't until I meet someone in person. So I'm like, okay. I go back on Instagram. His friend request is no longer there. My friends are like, oh, like check Hinge. Did he unmatch? He unmatched with me. And I've been waiting today to be like, to get a text because we were maybe gonna go on the date tomorrow. And I was like, you just went on and on about how people aren't communicative and how like you don't like people's intentionality in the dating scenes. And it's like, and it could be right, like maybe you're not interested anymore or you've changed your mind, but I'm kind of wondering how that's happened in a span of 24 hours. And then also, you could have just sent me a text, you know? Like, if there's any guy watching this, it's like, you can send a text to a woman and say like, hey, you know, I'm actually like not interested. I think that, you know, I don't think we would be a good match, or like literally anything. Like you could just be like, hey, like I'm not really feeling it anymore, but I just wanted to, you know, be genuine and let you know and not leave you unread. I just don't understand, like, why did you waste my day yesterday and yours as well? You wasted our time, my energy, like all of this for no reason, you know? And like also, I know like I'm a cool person and I know I have a lot to bring, so it's like, you could have given me a chance. Like, I feel like I'm willing to give most people a chance in person just to see like what people are really like. So we're back to just kind of hating the apps again. It's not like I ever really loved them, but again, my perception, the way I'm choosing to perceive it, is I told God, I was like, God, if this is not the right person for me, don't even let me go on this date. Like, I don't even want to meet him because I'm so sensitive. Like, I feel like I could easily fall in love with anyone, and it's a problem. Which is why I think I create so many boundaries up to meeting someone, because I know that like once I meet people, it's very hard for me to like dismiss them or like whatever. So I was like, God, I just keep getting hurt. Like, I don't want to get hurt anymore. And maybe this is just God answering my prayers. Maybe God just knew this wasn't my person and was like, okay, I got you, girl. Like, you don't have to meet him. But this is for the girlies out there who maybe had a similar situation or someone ghosted them. It's not you. It's probably something to do with them in their lives. So, wishing you the best, and hopefully we find someone.
Well, it seems like in some aspects you wanted to control the flow of dating, which a lot of modern women do. And if you're saying that he's tall and he's handsome, and I rarely ever meet a guy that I'm attracted to, and so we started talking about our interests, and it's going well, and yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. But it's going to end the same way because you guys don't ever really tend to think that maybe, just maybe, it's me. I'm the one that is not up to par. Maybe I'm not on his level. See, if I'm thinking only 20% of the men are good looking, and then, oh shoot, I run into the 20%. Am I on his level? Am I a part of the 20% myself? And the answer for a lot of women, a lot of modern women, is no. You're average, just like every other girl out here, except for the select few. But you guys continue to put yourself on a pedestal. And when the man sends you a request on Instagram or whatever, and you deny it, that was him probably trying to see what you're about. I'm trying to look at this. I want to make sure that before we go on the date, before I waste my money on you, and I applaud that. I applaud that. Before I waste my money on you, I want to see exactly who you are. Nah, I want to go on the date first. We're not doing that. $150 out my pocket before I even know who you are? Bad investment.
Okay, so what I'm understanding from man talk right now is that the men want women who can bake banana bread. Now, I don't really care about finding a man. It would be nice. Don't really care about it. But I can make you banana bread and pumpkin bread. And it's probably going to be the best banana and or pumpkin and or banana pumpkin bread you've ever had in your life. I can make you whatever bread you want. Still working on sourdough. But she's trying. If you wanted banana bread, all you had to do was ask.
The guy in the comments said, we missed the point again. This is the equivalent of flowers. You're not supposed to ask for flowers. We are just supposed to give the flowers to you. The same goes for the banana bread. We shouldn't need to ask for it. It's the gesture that you were thinking of us and tried to brighten the day up. Same with men getting you flowers. I don't understand for women why this is a hard concept to understand. I literally don't. It seems like when they want something, modern women at least, when they want something, it's such an easy concept to understand. Like, how hard is it to think, you know, I want flowers. Maybe he wants something in return. Well, I ain't going to give him my body. Oh, wow. Because there's nothing else besides your body that you can give him. What else could you give him? Maybe he plays video games. Maybe you can give him hey, babe, I stopped by the store and got a $25 gift card. So maybe you can use it in the store. I really didn't know what you like. So I just put $25 on here, and guess what he's going to be telling his friends in the chat? Man, my girl just got me a $25 gift card from for the store. Man, I can buy coins or whatever. Hold on, let me go recharge. That's what he's going to be saying. But what the men in the comments are trying to say is, a man, you want a man to take initiative. Don't ask me if I want flowers. Matter of fact, I might hate flowers because there's some women that say they hate flowers. But in general, let's just go get her some flowers and see if she likes them. If she doesn't, she'll let me know. But maybe she'll think that the gesture is sweet, and I'll get points for that. Because you took initiative, and then you put forth the effort. Those are huge. But now when a man says, okay, well, why are you not putting forth the effort? Well, it's been and all that other nonsense. Just ask me. No, silly. You need to make the same effort that you want the man to make for you. There was a woman in another one of the clips called herself cussing a girl's boyfriend out right there in the store because she went, the young lady went and got some flowers. They're checking out in the grocery store, right? He's paying for the groceries, by the way. She goes and gets some flowers for about 30 bucks, right? And he says, what are you doing? Well, I just felt like I wanted some flowers a day. I'm not buying you no flowers. Go put those back. The woman in the back behind hears this stuff and she gets upset. Just incensed. Oh, how dare you talk? You a piece of crap. You a jerk. You don't deserve it. I hope she leaves you. As a matter of fact, why don't you go back and get those flowers, pay for it separately? I'm going to buy those flowers for you because every girl deserves, that's the bare minimum to get her flowers every so often. You should be getting her flowers every week. Shut your stupid behind up. Shut your stupid behind up. You don't run nothing in my house, this house, nothing. You ain't running nothing but your mouth. You're running nothing but your mouth. And I don't care about nothing you got to say. I'm out here buying the groceries. I'm out here paying the bills around this house. And then she decided, oh, I want some flowers. Guess what he said when she did that? You don't ever buy me anything. And do you think that the woman that went off on him said anything about that? No. She just decided to take the woman's side. You never buy me anything. And the man said, I just spent a lot of money on you for your birthday. Oh, he ain't spent a lot of money on me for my birthday, but he did spend money on you. Let me ask you a question. When his birthday come around, how much did you spend on him? Oh, exactly. Exactly. Because y'all don't be thinking about nobody else but yourself. When it comes to a man, he needs to take initiative and give me the stuff that I want. But when it comes to me, I sit around until a man asks me something to do, ask me what to do, tell me what he wants. Oh, we need a man that is able to communicate and read body language. Shut up. If you're not going to reciprocate and do the same thing for the man that you want the man to do for you, be quiet. Delete this video. And now you want to be in the comments talking about, well, if you're going to say, it's meant to be a silly video, but if you're going to say rude and mean things, then you can get out of my comment section. Well, if you're going to say something dumb, you don't even need to post a video. How about that? If you're going to see, what they do is they try to disrespect men and then they call it a joke. But they're not going to cover this. Women not going to cover this. The female dating coach is not going, they call themselves coaches. I'm your big sister giving you advice. They're not going to cover this. They just going to say dumb stuff like, oh, well, if he wanted to, he would. Why don't that go for you? Why are the women not being held accountable? This is what the men are saying. Y'all doing a lot of stuff and y'all wanting a lot of stuff, but then you're not doing nothing for the man. Okay, I've been putting into you. When do I get something back? When do I get something in return that I don't have to beg for? Oh, well, I guess I can. I suppose I can. I guess it's okay. I bought him a little McDonald's and that's all he needed. That's it. So for $300, you telling me I might, from my woman now, I might be able to get some in a snack wrap. I might be able to get a little something. You got 5 minutes. I might be able to have 5 minutes and you just lay there. I got to do the work. Halfway, you don't really even want to be there. No emotion. And then a snack wrap. I mean, my God, where do I sign up?